Alright friends, the symptom that we have here is once the tub was powered up, it set an FLO code. I suspect that the pressure switch is stuck closed. The pump is working fine, no filter issues, everything is good. Stay tuned. What we're going to talk about today is a hot tub with a pressure switch issue. This is a Catalina hot tub, but it doesn't really matter what kind it is. You've got a couple of different things that can happen to a pressure switch. One thing that can happen is it can not close when the pump comes on. The idea behind the pressure switch is it's a safety device so you don't dry fire the heater that's in this tube when there's no water running in the tub. The thing is when it turns the pump on, it doesn't know if it's got water in it or not, so it doesn't want to dry fire the heater. So the idea is when the pump comes on, it closes this switch mechanically with water pressure. It closes this and tells the system, hey, we got water, it's okay to fire the heater. If this does not close, then you're going to get an FL code. But inversely, you could also get an FL code if it didn't open once the tub got to heat and turned off. So if you have a situation where the tub got up to 100 degrees or 104 or whatever you set it at, and then it gave an FL code and the buttons won't do anything until you power down and power back up, one way you could diagnose it is leave it powered on. Of course, make sure there's electricity in here. You could reach in and unplug either the wire from the pressure switch, just unplug one of them. If the system comes back on, this pressure switch is stuck closed. And so you can have a situation where this does not close, which could be the pressure switch, it could be a pump not operating, a filter stopped up, something caught in the impeller that's causing the pressure to be too low where it won't close the switch. Inversely, the switch can be bad and be stuck closed, or somebody could have adjusted it all the way out, that kind of thing. So this is a case where the switch is actually stuck closed. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the heat up where the heater is on. You just heard the heater come on and you can see that it's at 20. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. So you can see that it is heating. It's showing 21 amps that is drawing. So when I unplug pump number 1, which is the jet pump, that heater should go off. And you see that it does not. The pump went off, but the heater stayed on. In a moment, you'll hear the water start boiling. You hear it? That pressure switch is stuck closed. So I'm going to plug it right back in real quick and it'll move the water and it'll stop it. So what would happen in this case if it was stuck closed and it boiled the heater, what would happen is it would overheat the water in the heater tube and it would high limit and you would get a high limit code. So sometimes you may have a pump bad and the pressure switch stuck closed and it high limits. So if you get a HL code, a high limit code, or an overheat, an OH, an overheat, it's generally not just the pressure switch. It's going to be the pressure switch and another component like a pump not working on low speed or something like that. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it high limit again, or I'm going to let it overheat again, and I'm going to unplug the pressure switch and you'll see the heater go off. I'm going to unplug it from the board so you see that it's still on, it's still showing heat. You hear it boiling. I unplugged the pressure switch, you heard the relay open. So this has a bad pressure switch, it is stuck closed. I'm going to replace it and I'll show you the system working correctly momentarily. Stay tuned. Alright, so I've got the new pressure switch in. This is the old one and you can see that it's rusty on the back. You see that rust and damage? This pressure switch is stuck closed. Now all this gray thing is a cage that comes from the factory on some Balboa tubs. You just take this screw out and pop it off and you can replace it with any pressure switch. The pressure switch that we recommend looks like this right here. It's you'll find this in our store. This is the universal 1 amp pressure switch and it replaces even this style. Doesn't really matter what they look like. The main thing is the amperage matches up. This is a 1 amp, this is a 1 amp. So stay tuned, we're going to fire it up. I'm going to plug the pump back in. So on the top side we have a flow code, I'll show you that. So once we plug this back in, the heater should come back on. Alright, so you see that now you've got heat, and that's not completely right. The clip's not completely closed. You see it's about 21. When I unplug this pump, if the pressure switch is working correctly, it should go to 0 and it will set a flow code. So now the pressure switch is in fact opening, so this is a solved repair. The pressure switch was bad, it was getting stuck closed. When the pump went off, it didn't close. And you can see it came right back on, so it is now a functioning pressure switch and it's working correctly. I don't know much, friends, but I do know hot tubs. This one had a bad pressure switch. This is stuck closed. If you need a pressure switch or any other hot tub parts, if you click that banner right there, it will take you to our website. It will actually take you to the pressure switch page. If you don't need pressure switches, that's okay. Go into the search column, put your part in, and search today. I don't know much, but I do know hot tubs. I'm the spa guy. Buy today.